Hello, everybody. So, welcome back to the information channel. So, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, look at it closely and see what you think. Snowboards are designed to bend. Since they're designed to bend, there are many different profiles and models that require different bends and will bend in a different manner. But basically, they will bend from the middle of the board to the tip and tail. What you're looking at here is a LibTech, which is a C2, which means it's got a little bit of rocker in the nose and tail. It's got camber underfoot, as you can see it here with the airspace there. You come towards the middle of the board, it's reverse camber, which is why it's a C2, and then it flares back up underfoot again and runs out to the effective edge and parts you'll use all the way through there. So I'm going to show you all three boards that I have, and you will be able to see what type of camber they have. Next, we're looking at my amplet data. The amplet data is a volume shifted board that has basically a standard camber in it in a mild fashion. So as you can see, looking at it here along the working edge of the board from the nose, has a rockered up nose, and the nose is slightly softer than the tail, and you'll be able to see that in other demos I'm going to perform here. But following that line along, you can see that mellow camber, meaning it doesn't rise a lot in the middle of the board, but enough to get the performance for the profile of the board. Okay, moving on, we're back to the amplet Morning Glory, which is a more directional type board, also volume shifted. Slightly different than the data because the tail is actually thinner on this, where the volume shift on the data stays pretty close to the width of the nose and tail. This actually tapers in at the tail, which gives it also a different performance type characteristic. Again, we have a rocker in the nose, comes up a little bit to the working edge, but what you will notice, I hope, is the amount of volume of space of the camber, which is the rise through the middle, bending up towards the sky, back to where it works underfoot. As I come in here to the middle and press down on this, I'm going to have to use more force to press it down and get it down, and I hope you guys notice that. So we're going to introduce this video about what we see everybody do when they go in a store to test a snowboard for flex. I find it interesting. I'm not sure it's the most accurate way to do it. I'm going to show you the way that we are going to test ours for flex, but Ted's going to show you what everybody does when they go in a store checking for flex.
Okay. Was it real stiff? And get my knee in it.
And then you fall over in the store. Okay.
But
so Ted has pushed on his snowboard of his choice by manufacturer, by design, or whatever. My question to Ted is, what did that just tell you?
From my understanding, this is a relatively flexible board. If I couldn't flex it and it was more stiff, then it would ride differently, sure.
Yeah.
And if it was more of a noodle, then it would be
have bent it easier,
more easily bent. But
which
that's about all. So
which is all true.
Yeah, I'd say
it's all true.
Flex.
But the problem being that all manufacturers of snowboards and snowboard boots and all the gear have their own idea of the scale that they run things on, and none of them meet in the middle. They have a general tone. It's a medium flex, it's a stiff flex, it's a soft flex, etc., etc. But it doesn't mean that one company's idea even closely matches another.
Right.
Okay? So you as a consumer have a lot that you could learn if you want to. So we're going to try to educate you guys a little bit on this, and that's the goal of this video.
All right.
So this is Ted's hot knife LibTech. So what I'm going to ask Ted to do is to end up flexing his board by stepping with one foot into the center of his board while keeping his weight on his back foot. and go ahead and press it down a little bit. Okay, so it has not completely decambered, but it's close when you put more weight on it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just play with that a bit for a minute. And you're feeling how much pressure it's taking you to decamber it, are you not?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And you didn't get to feel that when you stood in the storm, bent it, all right?
No.
This is my point.
I did it.
All snowboards and skis are made to bend in the middle and create a shape with a side cut and give us a great ride. To bend in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ted just did that. So what I want Ted to do is to think a little step further. He bent it in the middle. I want you now from the bent in the middle to allow it to come up. And I want you to register what kind of a come up it does.
What kind of pop?
What kind of pop?
All right.
All right? In the middle, in the middle. There you go.
Oof.
Can you count the duration of the return?
It's pretty quick.
What is it?
I'm down, and this feels max, and 1.
Okay, so it was a down and a 1.
Yeah.
You were able to feel that though,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
So you now own a little bit of knowledge on the flex of that board. You did not have that standing there shoving the board, letting the board shove you around.
No.
Okay.
Not in.
This is my point. This is my point. So I'd like you to take that board, move it. Okay, so Ted's about to do another pressure test here, a flex test.
Wow.
And remember, this is your evaluation, not mine. I know what I just saw.
It feels as if about the same on the way down, the same kind of pressure, and the pop feels a little faster. Not by much, but
Okay.
it seems to come up quicker.
Seems to come up quicker. Okay, well, it's new. Flexibility. So I'm going to ask Ted now to put his foot in front of his front binding and kind of step on that and see what his nose does. Okay, you got a feel for that?
Yeah.
Go to the tail. Is the tail stiffer than the nose?
Interesting question.
It appears to be.
I'm never going to ride like this, but I want to check. The way I'm going to say, okay, and I can see this.
Yeah, you got a little bit more.
I got more space here, so I got more room to be flexible
okay.
there. And at the moment, what I can feel is that the back tail is stiffer than the front.
Let's just wrap that up with saying that you were able to find out more about your snowboard in this configuration, doing this, than when you went in the store and just bent your board and hoped for whatever.
I'm going to add this in, just because I just understood this. When we've been talking about shifting the bindings either
4.5
4.5
for setbacks.
Yeah, I haven't been thinking about how it would affect the stiffness of the board.
Well, what it'll do is
it obviously does. Yeah.
If you take setback and move back with everything, you're kind of putting yourself more on the tail, so allowing your nose to float a little more in heavier snow.
And it's
So you basically make an adjustment. So do you need to buy another quiver just because you have a twin board? Not necessarily. However, I'm going to say this. You buy a low-end twin board, it's only got 4 insert patterns on it. You're not going to make much of a change with anything because you got nowhere to go. Okay. So if you have 5 inserts, you got two to 3 places you could move. If you have 6 to 7 on some directional boards, they have 7 on the rear foot. So that you can move it a lot further back to make that just a dream on a rough snow day with a lot of powder or whatever. But you need momentum and you need steepness and all those good fun things that right now we don't have. So anyhow, that's that. So we'll break on that. It's on. Okay, so we got Ted's back. You're good right there. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Okay, so Ted is now going to put this in practical application by checking out the flex pattern on my boards. So right now he's standing behind the data. He's going to put it. No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You've got to test it the same way you just did yours.
Step in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that feels really. Huh.
Okay. All right, so we can move that one.
Wait a sec. Holy crap, there's nothing there.
Well, there is.
Almost nothing. All right.
But you didn't have to do tails and nose. I already know.
Okay.
I already know. So you can move that one.
All right.
And set it on a rug somewhere or whatever. Like over there. Yep, you can set it on that one. Now take the Travis Rice and put it down toe side to edit out a little bit, but and that looks pretty even. Okay, you're on the other side, and you're still going. So we now have the LibTech Travis Rice, and we're just testing the middle bend of the board.
Okay, this is very similar to mine, and
No, you're comparing board to board, not yours.
okay,
My board to board to board.
it's different than your board.
This is different than the one you just stepped on.
It's different than your board.
Okay, so no, you don't have to do the nose. Don't do that. Just whatever. So I want to know about the return on this one. So you can think about that. Okay, we're good. So you can get rid of that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you're going to take the Amplid Morning Glory.
Which one's Morning Glory?
That one.
Well, I haven't seen you ride this. Have you had this up?
Yeah, I had it out a couple times.
Ooh,
Not much. It's not made for where I'm at. Turn it around. Yep. And pull the strap out from the underneath. There you go. Now the middle is where the middle is,
okay.
and the middle is closer to the front
Yeah.
binding than it looks.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so go ahead. Check it. Check it.
Okay. Huh. That's it.
Okay.
There's a different feel on here.
Well, obviously there is. Okay, so go back to the data. What was the flex on the data?
It was very loose, very flexible, and the return was.
Smooth.
It felt smooth, and it was. I want to use the word light.
Okay, so the return was light.
Like a real hard punch back.
The press was light, and the return was light. Agree?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it moved, but it wasn't.
It's not snappy.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't
But
snappy. It didn't have
it's a
lots of
volume
force.
shifted board, and torsionally, it's fun to play with. What happened on the LibTech?
The LibTech had a faster. It seemed to have a faster pop back.
Okay. How about pressing it down? Did it take more to press it down?
Yes, it felt not a lot, and only because it felt like a different spring. I mean,
Well, it is.
Yeah.
If you go to a gym and you jump on a trampoline and move over to another one,
Yeah.
you think you're necessarily going to get the same spring?
No.
Or a diving board? No.
But
Okay.
that's incredibly subtle, and I wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
But yes, there was a different spring
Yes.
to it.
Okay. So on the Morning Glory,
On this one, very soft.
what?
Wait a minute.
Soft? You're pushing hard to get that to de-camber.
This has.
To de-camber that, you're working.
It's substantial. It sort of holds my weight, and the return isn't a real fast pop, but it's a smooth kind of.
Okay.
It's smooth.
But it's a full return.
Yeah.
Which is going to relate to how much bend you get and where it happens at. So I hope you guys will enjoy this and learn from it, and then decide what kind of boards you're going to buy for whatever it is you choose to play with and how you choose to play in the snow. So we're going to conclude that. We're going to say Happy New Year's and hope that you're having better sliding than we're having here in North Idaho.
Really.
Because I'm afraid we could get washed out, which would remind me, Ted, of the East Coast, which we don't want to see, but it could happen. Anyhow, we did this for consumer information. It isn't likely that you're going to go into a store and say, hey, can I borrow a couple of blocks? But you know what? If I was going in to look at a new board, I might bring my own blocks in.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I might say, can I check this board in a way that I understand?
Yeah.
Because what happened with this, the physical activity that Ted and I both performed on the boards, allowed us to have ownership of the knowledge that the board gave us back. And I don't know any other channel that has gone this far other than Just a Ride. He really gets deep into stuff. But let's face it, you want a board that bends, you want to bend it from the middle, and you want to follow it. So follow us and straight ahead.
All right. Nice.